Hi lovers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'll be showing you how I made this beautiful dress with this snatched waist and basque effect. So if you're interested to know how I made it, kindly keep watching and subscribe. Thank you. So to make this particular outfit, you will be needing fabric. So I'll be using this white crepe material and the nude crepe material that is here, but you can use any color of your choice or combination of your choice. So this white is 2.5 yards, then this crepe is 1 yard, although I did not use the complete 1 yard. So now this is my zipper. I use an iron zip. So if you go to the market, report for a long iron zip. That is what it is called in the market. I don't know for your side, but here it is called iron zip. So this is my scissors and now this is my tape. So the next I'm going to do is to start drafting the front bodies of this dress. So I have to mark a baseline on top of my pattern paper. From that baseline, I'll be taking my measurement. So it will be guiding me from where my measurement is starting and all that. So I'm done drawing the baseline. So from here, I'm going to put the length of my dress. So you are going to put the desired length of your own dress where you want the length to reach. So the length I will be using is 40 inches. That is the length of my dress. I'll be marking 40 inches as the length of this my dress. And then I added another 2 inches for hemming allowance. I added extra 2 inches for hemming. I want the hemming to be bold. I don't want a very tiny hemming. That's why I added up to 2 inches. So now I'm going to draw out this line. And then I'm going to label it hem allowance. So now I'm going to put the zipper allowance of this dress. You know there is a zip in front, so I'll be using 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. I'll mark it from the beginning of this pattern paper down to the end, and then I'm going to draw it and connect it with a straight line. As you can see, I'm marking it down to the hem of this dress. This serves as the zipper allowance. The zipper of this dress is in the front. That is why I'm marking zipper allowance in the front, and I used 1.5 inches. So now I'm going to use ruler to connect the lines together. So I had to readjust my camera so we can be seeing everything very clear. I'm done. So this is the zip allowance. So now from that zipper allowance, we are starting our measurements. Nothing concerns any measurement on the zipper allowance. So now I'm going to put my shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement is 8 inches. That is 16 divided by 2, 8 inches. And I added half inch for sewing allowance also. I just added a half inch for sewing allowance, that is to join my sleeve. So I'll be marking my vertical measurement right now. So I'll be putting my shoulder to my bust point, which is 10 inches, and then I'll be putting my shoulder to my under bust, which is 13 inches, then shoulder to my waistline, which is 17 inches, and then shoulder to my hip line, which is 26 inches. We already have the full length of this dress. So I'll be taking my shoulder slope measurement, which is 1 inch shoulder slope measurement. From that shoulder slope, I'll be marking my armhole. So my armhole is my bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. That is how to get your own. I've marked mine. So I'm going to draw out all these lines right now. So I've gone ahead to draw these lines and then I will label them out. So this is my chest line, which is my armhole line. This is my bust, my waist, my under bust, sorry. This is my waist and this is my hip, and then this is the full length of the dress already. So I'm going to draw the shoulder slope to my armhole line. So I'll be putting my neckline right now. So the neckline I'll be using is 3.5 width, and then I'll be using 2 inches for the depth of my neckline. if you see this dress, you'll find out that the neckline is almost a high neck. That is why I used 2 inches for the depth. So I'm going to curve it right now with my ruler. So I'll be taking the shoulder slope, my shoulder remaining shoulder measurement, yes, to connect it shoulder slope, and then I'm putting my armhole curve. So this is basically drafting a basic bodice. So right now I'm done. I'll be putting my that measurement right now. So to get your that measurement is your nipple to nipple divided by 2. You get your that measurement. So this my that I'll be taking it from my hip line up to my bust line. So on my hip line I marked my that, which is 4 inches, to my waist, under bust, and then to my bust line. So I'll be connecting them with a straight line. Then on my waistline, I'll be taking 1 inches on the sides of my dart line. So I took 1 inches on the side. Then I'm going to connect it to my bust line. So I've connected it to my bust line. So now for the hip, I'm supposed to come up by 2 inches for a normal dart, but based on this dress, I'll be connecting it down to the hip line without coming up by any inch, just like I'm doing. So this is how we are going to do yours to get a perfect fit. So now I will extend this to my shoulder midpoint. So marking my shoulder midpoint from my neck width, I found, marking the measurement, then I found the midpoint. So I'm going to mark the midpoint of that shoulder and then connect from my bust line to the shoulder midpoint. I'll be using a straight ruler, sorry, to connect it. So the reason why this measurement was extended, or why this line was extended to the shoulder measurement, will be seen later. So now I'll be putting my round body measurement right now. So on the chest line, I'll be putting my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches sewing allowance. That's what I'm going to put on my chest line. I'm trying to find my exact measurement right now so I can input it there. So I've got it and I've marked it. So coming to my waistline, I'm going to put my waist measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches sewing allowance. So I'm trying to get it, and here still trying to find it. Okay, here it is. So I'm going to put it. Remember that you're taking your measurements from after the zip allowance. So my that intake was 2 inches. I'm going to put it back, added back the 2 inches that intake. So now on my hip line, I'm going to mark my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches. My hip measurement is 40, so I divided it by 4. 10 plus 2 inches, 12. So then I'm going to take whatever that is here and take it down to the hem of this dress. What I have on my hip is 12 inches, so I'm going to take it down to the hem of this dress, also 12 inches. This dress is a straight dress, it's not a pencil. That is why I took what is on my hip down. So I've gone ahead to mark out the lines right now. So for that breast curve that you are seeing in front of the dress, where we use crepe material, nude crepe, so I'm going to come up on my bust line by 1 inch, center bust line by 1 inch, just like I did, and then on the side under bust I'm going to come up also by 1 inch. So now I'm going to use a curve ruler to connect the lines. Use a curve ruler to connect the lines. The lines is not straight, so I'm trying to set the ruler very well right now to draw the curve. So I've gone ahead to draw the curve right now, so I'll be making it neat. So now we're going to take the basque effect. I'm trying to repeat, coming up by 1 inches on the side and using the curve ruler. So now on for the basque effect, we are going to come down on the side waistline by 2 inches, just like I did. And then for the effect or for the V shape, I'm going to come down by 3.5 inches from the hip line. You can use 3 inches, but I'll be using 3.5 for it. So now I'm going to use a straight ruler to make a slant line to from that waist to the hip side, just like I did right now. So at this point, I found out that I wanted it more deep. So I did 4 inches instead of 3.5. I have to correct it. I used 4 inches. So I have to redraw the line and cancel the first line I drew. So this is basically all you need for this front piece. Now we are going to extend the lines, the V-shaped line to the zip allowance and the bust curve also to the zip allowance, and then we are going to set it aside after doing these things. So this is basically all for the front piece. So let's go to drafting the back. For the back bodies, there is not much thing to do, just a plain pattern. You draft the normal back bodies just like the front without round measurement and all that. I've gone ahead to do that. So now this is my chest line and this is my bust line, and then this is my under bust, my waist, my hip, and then the full length of this dress, just like we did in the front. So this is my neckline and this is 3 inches by 1.5 inches. So that is what I'm using for the back neckline. So as you can see, this pattern, I've not inputted my round measurements and all that, but I've gone ahead to draft my that to draw my that line up to the bust. So now I'm going to take 1 inches from the sides of the waist dart, just like we did in the front. Then on the hip line, I'm going to come up on the hip dart, I'm going to come up by 2 inches. I'll be coming up by 2 inches. Then I'm going to connect from the waist dart to the hip, just like I'm doing. And then I'll also connect it to the bust line. So now we are done for the dart. We are not extending it to the shoulder. So now I'm going to start putting my round body measurement. I've gone ahead to do that, and I've also connected all the lines and all that. The waist that I replaced it back and all that, my hip and everything. I used whatever that is on my hip back to the down of the dress. Now for the waist, I'm going to come in on the waistline by 1/2 inch so that it's going to give me a nice fitting on the waist side. There is no zipper allowance on the waist, but I want it to be fitted on my back because the back is not straight. So that is why I came in on the waist by 1 inch, and then I'm by 1/2 inch, sorry, and then I'm connecting it back to the center lines. So now I've gone ahead to cut out the back bodies, and then I'm cutting out this shape that will give it on the waist also. So now this is the front again, the yoke. I've gone ahead to label the yoke. Now I'm going to cut it out also. Going to cut out the front body so I can cut it out on the fabric. So now we're going to slash and cut out the basque shape. Then also the breast cuff that we did, going to cut it out also. So now for the yoke, I'm going to set them aside. For the yoke, we are going to slash that line that led to the shoulder, slash it open. Oh, sorry, I had to, yes, I've gone ahead to use sellotape to hold it. So now you're going to bring a fresh paper and then you're going to spread it. It's called slash and spread because there is a little pleat on the top of this dress. So I'm going to place it on another pattern just like I did. Then I'm going to check. I want to spread it 2 inches. The spread I want is just 2 inches. So I've gone ahead to do it and hold it with selected. Now I'm trying to trace out this new yoke. I'm trying to trace it out on this new pattern. I've gone ahead to do that, as you can see. Now I'm going to cut it out. Or this pattern is no longer in use, so I'm going to cut out this one right now. As you can see, if you place it, you will see that there is allowance. That is the extra 2 inches that we added. So that is what I'm going to plait in to the main fabric. So now for this down part, it has gathered, or you can pleat it. So for me, what I did was to slash it. I use slash and spread. I have to draw lines. These lines don't have any particular measurement. I have to draw straight lines from the up to the down, just like I'm doing now. And I've gone ahead to cut the patterns on the fabric. As you can see, the yoke, I used the white crepe. So I've gone ahead to cut 4 pieces of it, one for lining, one for main fabric. And then the basque effect, I used the nude crepe, one for fabric, one for lining. So that's what I used. I lined the dress. So I used one for lining, one for fabric. I've gone ahead to do the same thing on the back piece, lining and the main fabric. So now we are going to bring the downside out. We draw the slash lines. I've gone ahead to label the lines so I can know which is which, and it can help me. And then I'm slashing it. I'm cutting it up to the end. They are going to be separate, as you can see now. So now I'm going to spread this fabric that I'm going to use for the down part. So the material is on fold, so I can cut the left and the right side of the front piece at the same time. I've gone ahead to place the patterns on it according to their numbers, and I've gone ahead to pin them. Now this pattern paper is 2 inches different from each other, so you can see the distance between each of them is 2 inches. And then now I'll be cutting out the up side. I'll be cutting it out on the up. I use half inch for sewing allowance. I gave space of half inch for sewing allowance. Then I had to cut it out using the shape of this pattern paper. I've gone ahead to do that. Now I'm opening the folded side so I can have two pieces of this, left and right. For the sleeve, as you can see, I've folded white material for it, and the length of the sleeve is 25 inches. So but for this white one, we'll be using 21 inches for it. This is the length, 21 inches, and then I added extra 1 inch for it to fall on the wrist side because it's a gigot sleeve, making it 22 inches. So what we have here is 22 inches. And then for the width, I used 13 inches to fold it. If you want it to be more bulky, you can use more, but I used 13. And then the up, my armhole measurement is going to be 10 inches. That is what is going to be on the up of this dress, which is my armhole measurement. Then I'm going to mark it. So now I'm going to use a freehand to draw the sleeve. Sorry, I'm doing that, but you can do your own the way you want. Because of time, I'm using a freehand to do the sleeve. Now the sleeve cap, sorry. And then I'm going to connect it from the down to the up of the sleeve, just like I'm doing. So I'm trying to redraw the line so you can see it very clear. Then I will be cutting out the sleeve. Okay, I've gone ahead to do that right now. I'm going to notch the center of the sleeve. So for the band of the sleeve, I used my round sleeve measurement of fold to get it. Then for the length of the band, I used 5 inches, 4 inches for the actual length, and then 1 inch to join it to the white side. So this is basically about cutting and drafting of this dress. So in my next video, I'm going to show you how to sew it. Thank you.